Hello, welcome to the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is Thursday night game analysis using lots of fun metrics. I'm adding a little bit if you've paid attention to previous times. Thursday night, tonight, New Orleans, Jacksonville. New Orleans is the 1-point favorite. It's a pick 'em. Care what they say. Over under 39. Scoring level, of course, is low. Figures to be a lower scoring game. New Orleans hasn't put a lot of points on the board, around 20 on games, so that's some of the reason why this is low scoring. This top segment here, of course, is the Vegas information here. So this is the defense against position. This is how the offense faces, or what happens when they face the defense of the opposing team. So this is, of course, game 1 of the week 7, still in the first half of the season. Jacksonville is away, facing New Orleans, light red, so it is below average. ETN faces a below average rushing defense. A little bit tough, not impossible, but again, not an easy situation. Lawrence or whoever, CJ, whoever's going to be the quarterback, does have a spot of opportunity here above average. So a little bit easy, but the New Orleans is tough on the wide receiver and the tight end below average. So, it's, again, the scenario is just not a lot of points, not a lot of easy areas that Jacksonville can just, walk around and score a lot of points. Hence, I think Vegas sees 19, 20 points. Kicker does have an advantage. There may be a lot of almost touchdowns, so the Jacksonville kicker's fine. The Jacksonville defense is fine. Carr does give up interceptions and sacks, so there are some opportunities. So that's how you read that line. New Orleans is at home. Jacksonville is below average tough D. Overall, that's what the offense DAP right there. Tough. So as far as pure rushing, the running backs Miller and Kamara, or I don't know if Jamal Williams is going to be activated. He's getting close. Definitely somebody to squirrel away in tough times. Tough running only. You think that Kamara maybe catches some passes because Carr does have an above average situation, and the wide receivers have an easy situation. So that is kind of tells me that New Orleans can win this game by passing. They're just going to have to score probably at least 20 points, maybe more. So they're going to have to shut down Jacksonville and score enough to do the deed, as it were. The tight end situation is tough in New Orleans, so I don't even know who they got as tight end now. Jawan Johnson, I think, was out. The kicker, you probably want to pass this time. But the defense, Lawrence, if he's got an plays, there you got an opportunity. And if CJ plays, then of course you got another opportunity. So it wouldn't surprise me a pick 6 somewhere, one of these defenses, maybe both. Who knows? That would be in some ways entertaining as well. So if you're playing the daily fantasy one game, I think the defenses are definitely in play. And it seems to say New Orleans will be passing. The trick is who do we concentrate on, Olave or Rashid? Michael Thomas is Mr. 10 point. So if you need 10 PPR points this week, cause of buys, he's good for it, right? In the previous weeks, he just doesn't seem to have that high ceiling. It's just kind of this narrow range. People have commented that he just doesn't seem like the old Michael Thomas. I don't know. You know, I'm not a game film expert. I'll have to leave that to them. But Olave sometimes disappears in games and then reappears. Rashid is that deep threat. Maybe that's how they win this game. Okay. So that's the DAPS, and there's nothing here that really contradicts Vegas's view of a lower scoring game. This is more how New Orleans would get its points. Jacksonville, it's a little tricky. ETN has been doing pretty good recently, but he's going to have to earn it. And the wide receivers have been doing okay recently, but they could have been doing better. I now add my rush passing, home away splits, and efficiency metrics. I've added that to my discussion of the game, so it's a little bit new this week. So it's game one, Jacksonville. They tend to rush more than pass. When you see a positive, they're 7 times more for the rushing than the passing, maybe more than that. At home, Jacksonville tends to not rush a lot, but away they tend to rush, and at home they tend to pass, but away they don't. So this tendency implies that ETN should get some activity here. Compared to the rest of the league, Jacksonville in the recent three games has really done better rushing. This is different rushing attempts here, and that's a positive. So there's a lot more rushing activity going on for Jacksonville. Passing has gone down. So Jacksonville has been rushing more recently than, the whole season. So that seems to imply that ETN is going to be the focus of this, and that might help if Lawrence plays his knee issue. That might help. So they may go lots of rushing to try to open up the passing. New Orleans, a little bit more level. They have a +2 and a +4.6 passing. So it looks like it's favored to the passing, which plays into the DAPS. So there's this signal that the passing game is going to be featured in New Orleans here and not as much rushing. However, at home, they don't rush a lot and they pass about average. So again, there's this tough rushing. They don't rush a lot. Anything below 1 is low. So this home away rush attempts 0.07 means they don't tend to rush at home. They tend to pass. New Orleans has been passing better, +2. That's good. So everything I'm reading in this home away metrics here supports this DAP and supports New Orleans winning by passing if they win. So again, the story here, Jacksonville would rush. Efficiency-wise, just how do teams do in points per second versus yards per game? I combine that, so don't worry so much about the numbers. But the home and away splits and I'll just summarize it for you here. Here's home-away ratio. Jacksonville does a little better at home, and New Orleans does a little better away. So these teams, and this is, we kind of nailed the scenario here, which kind of goes along with the DAPS. The efficiency metrics would say that it's actually both of them are in the wrong situation. Jacksonville needs to be at home. New Orleans needs to be away to maximize. I don't think this is a game of maximization. So I'm not overly worried about these numbers here, but just to let you know, this is a low-scoring game. So I haven't been describing, at best this will be, 2 touchdowns for each side. So we're not talking 8-10 touchdowns totals, for the whole game. So no. I think if we see 4 touchdowns, that will be, we'll take that and run with it. New Orleans really hasn't improved or declined in the last game. Jacksonville has got a little bit better in the last 3. So last 3 efficiency difference, anything above 1 is an improvement. So Jacksonville has been improving a little bit overall with efficiency. Again, the rushing has been on. Again, ETN does have a tougher situation. So that's some of the low low rushing and the low scoring here. So that's kind of how it is. I threw a lot of metrics out to try to, kind of get back to what Vegas thinks. My dogs are restless here. Snaps, weeks 1 to 4, average snaps, any difference in the last couple of weeks. Anything plus is an improvement, minus is a decline. Nothing on ETN says that, he's not going to get, 50 snaps. So, yeah, it's a game. Ingram, 48. He's still the dog. It's just a tough situation. So, if you've got to play him this week, I guess you could do worse, but he's been hit or miss so far. It looks like for Jacksonville, Ridley and Kirk are getting, pretty much the same snaps. And Zay Jones, I think, is going to be out. So that puts a mix of 3 other wide receivers with snaps. So nothing is impressing me here. So it's just, I guess if you think Jacksonville's going to, feed their wide receivers, this would imply both are fed equally. There's nothing here that really jumps out at me. New Orleans, it's the Kamara show. Taysom Hill might actually surprise us. He got a lot of uptick last game, 49 snaps over Foster Moreau. So, again, daily fantasy, he might be a gamble. Okay. Olave, 72, Thomas, 68, and Rashid, 62. So it's kind of 1A, B, and C. Again, Thomas has just been more of a possession kind of wide receiver. He's not really going so far. Olave's the finesse guy, and Rashid is the distance guy. So I'm assuming that the passing game goes through Olave and Rashid much more than Thomas. So I would, would I play Olave over a lot of wide receivers this week? Probably. But not everyone, of course. 6 teams on bye. Rashid, I think, is more boom or bust. He could get you 13 points with a 60-yard touchdown, and then he's asleep for a little bit. So I don't see multiple touchdowns, maybe 1 for each at best. Uh, you figure Kamara might do a little something, in the past game. So that's kind of how it figures. It's just kind of another Thursday blah game. I hate Thursday games. And nothing here suggests any kind of blow up, blowout. Vegas is not expecting. Nothing in the metrics is saying, it's a 8 touchdown kind of game. It seems to be a 4 touchdown game. And again, Jacksonville's probably going to emphasize more rushing than we might think. And New Orleans is, it's almost like, let me pass. I could see a lot of 3 and outs. And I think the defenses may have a say as well. So I hope you win tonight. And I wish you good luck. I'm going to give the more data on the efficiency. I'll have a video on that, explain in more detail the whole league and all the different teams. So check that out really soon. And I'll try to hit some more game analysis if I get time coming up here. But it'll all be, the static images will all be on the scienceoffantasyfootball.com. Woo woo. So good luck tonight. It's a Thursday game. I say blah.